I told God exactly what I wanted. I want this baby to come November, December.
It's so good to have you guys join us again. I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed this past week. I got up to like so many subscribers this week, so I am really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
If you are coming for the first time, please subscribe. My name is Neme and I have my in-law here. Guys, one fact about this lady is that she's my in-law, and I got to know that she was my in-law when she became my neighbor. How come we are related? I'm related to her husband, so her husband is my cousin. So good to have you, Chiso.
Thank you
for taking out time. Like, Chiso been trying to not sleep last night because she's
my eyes still look a bit. Yes.
She has a baby that's not up to 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So she's a mother of 2. A beautiful girl and a handsome boy.
Yeah.
That all looks like our family.
The boy looks like me.
She just helped us to carry the babies.
The surrogate in this
family. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
She also has a YouTube channel as well, so I'm going to be tagging her channel to this video. If you hear any sound, take it like that in Nigeria. Yes. So I want to talk about lessons you learned in the year 2022. I saw one of your videos where you talked about, I'm going to put a link, where you talked about how your pregnancy journey, how you and your husband wanted a particular year date, and that you have your second child, and it happened exactly.
Yeah.
So I want you to just share like a short recap of that. What it was like 2022. Were you really expecting that you have your baby, you get pregnant and have your baby? How this journey was, what you learned in the process, and all.
Okay. So when you reached out to me, and then you said you wanted us to talk about lessons I learned in 2022, I had to like sit down and really ask myself if these are lessons I learned. And one of the first things, because I actually wrote them down, is that life is spiritual. This year I really got to understand how spiritual life is. So when we had our first baby, after the whole labor, everything, I say, to be a while before I go on this journey again. But you know, human nature, by the time she was like a year, I was when I go to church, I want to carry a baby. I was already having the baby fever. So we talked about it, my husband and I. We decided when she's a year and 6 months, and she turned a year and 6 months in February. So you know the January prayer and fasting.
Yes.
When we went for the prayer and fasting, I told God exactly what I wanted. I want this baby to come November, December.
Wow.
Exactly. I want this baby to come November, December, and I want this baby to be a boy. I want him to look like me. I want a healthy and a perfect pregnancy. I itemized all of those things, and that was part of what I prayed for during the 21 days prayer and fasting. And by February, we were pregnant. Now the funny thing that happened is, when you ask God for things and you're specific, don't change your mind.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the pregnancy now progressed, when I got to 38 weeks, I was already tired. I said, this boy, come already, let me rest. That was October. I was praying, and then there was a day I was listening to a message, and it said, do not say before an angel you were playing. You know that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then it clicked. I said, I want this baby November, December.
Now you're
and his EDDs was 1st of November, and I told God I want him to come exactly that day. And this is me because I'm now tired, things are not happening. I'm like, I want him to come October. He didn't come. I walked to the length and breadth of this place. There's no kind of exercise I didn't do. He didn't come. And on the 1st of November he came.
Wow, that's so
like that really hit it for me, that life is very spiritual, and the words that we speak, we really should be careful when we make statements, because those words actually actualize things, whether we see it, whether we know it or not. Today, tomorrow we'll see the effect.
Of the
And that's very humbling, because you realize that first, because life is spiritual and you're a Christian, you're a commander, but you're also a tool.
You are a commander and you're also a tool.
You're also a tool. Like, it makes you not to attach any form of pride to anything you have, because I really drew it from here, and God used me to work things out. Okay, that takes me to the second lesson. I actually wrote it down.
She brought a pastor Mississippi.
Okay, doing nothing is also doing something.
Doing nothing is also doing something.
Sometimes.
Okay, sometimes.
Because I'm this kind of person who is, I want to get this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And many of the times you realize that when you keep doing that, you don't even have a time to evaluate what you've really done. For you, it's all about goals, achieve, next goals, achieve. And so when, like you said, when you don't have those kind of big goals, like, okay, this year I was able to save 10 million, this year I was able to get this professional course,
or to buy land, or
you sit down and then you're like, I didn't really do anything this year. But the fact that you're even sane in such an insane climb like ours is such an amazing thing. And I found out this year that doing nothing sometimes is also being kind to yourself.
Doing nothing is
the same way you raise a child, and you don't want that child to always be on the go. You don't want that child to always, okay, do this, get this. Sometimes you want the child to sit back and just rest. That's what you're doing to yourself. Sometimes be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Be kind to yourself to realize that I'm actually human. I wouldn't have gotten this 100%. And that's very necessary being a mom, because being a mom, you have mom guilt. There are times you really don't want to someone say gentle parenting. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh baby, today is gonna be good.
It's a yes day.
And then she breaks the first tumbler. You're like, I know that's a mistake. Be careful next time. And then she uses your makeup to paint the entire house, and you're like, please respect yourself. And by night you're saying, if I catch you, that's if you don't end up catching. And then when you sit down and think through your day, you're like, maybe I'm not really getting it with this gentle parenting thing. And then instead of you to like, okay, set goals, tomorrow is another time I'll work harder, you start feeling bad. Sometimes when she's sleeping, I'll go and apologize to her.
When you're asleep,
I'm telling you, like I will hear you. I'll just say, I'm sorry I yelled at you today. But I'll just be sleeping. What's her own? So that's just it, being kind to yourself, doing those things that make you happy. It's from a healthy place that you help people.
Yes, true. For you to take care of the next person, you have to be fit, and both physically, mentally,
everywhere. Yeah.
So sometimes it's always good for us to take that break. As we go into 2023, people talk about mental health, take care of your mental health, and it feels like we don't really know what that is, or it just has become a cliche.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just good for us to say, I want to break, let me rejuvenate. I just want to be in that place where
just sit down, even if the house is scattered, we're looking at
it, or go inside one room,
arrange that room. Hey God.
Arrange the room, lock yourself,
and just stay there. Yes. Is allow yourself to feel what you feel.
Okay. So if I'm feeling I'm angry towards you right now, Chiso, I should allow myself to
allow yourself to feel the anger. You don't have to express it in uncultured ways.
Okay, so that's where we draw the line.
So
you can feel the anger, but don't express it in a way that will hurt the other person.
Yes. Your self-control should still be applied. Not we don't say because you're angry, you now hit your head on the wall. The reason why you actually have children have one of the most stable and amazing mental health is that they are allowed to feel what they feel. When they want to cry, you see a toddler just rolling on the floor, but you didn't allow her to swallow broom. But once she's done, she expels everything. She's okay, she's fine, she moves. So I learned to allow myself feel when I'm not happy. I don't pretend to be happy, because again, I want the people around me not to be bothered. I started studying scriptures, and I discovered that Jesus Christ, when he's not, like, just before he died, he was praying, he was groaning, there was agony in his spirit. And that was when I realized that feelings are not actually bad, like I grew up to believe. I used to think if you see someone, that person is angry or that person is a bad person.
It's what you do with the feelings.
Yes. I think that just summarizes it. What you do with the feelings, but identify what you're feeling per time, why you are feeling that thing, sort it out so that you can move on without any emotions that are not expressed here. So my final lesson is that this one is quite unconventional, especially since this is a Christian channel. In dealing with people, I don't want to look at her, I'm looking at you people. In dealing with people, sometimes gbasgbos is very, very necessary. Yes, I say that with my full chest. It's very necessary. Sometimes you really have to allow people to have a taste of what they give to you, so that they understand what it feels like.
And this was me saying earlier that we should give excuses for people.
Oh, I'm the master of that.
But sometimes it's also still good to give it back.
Give gbasgbos. Now you're like they say, you're the bigger person. They always say you're the bigger person. You do it as the bigger person, but just pass the lesson. I had someone who is in the habit of not celebrating people, and then when she has anything to do, she wants you to celebrate her,
Come out there.
And I was always there for her whenever she wants to celebrate. Oh, that's how this year I did not answer her. She said, I saw it, I don't want to say anything. She was like, I think it's on like, I said yes. I actually want to teach you a lesson so that you know how it feels when someone who is in your own corner does not celebrate your wins, but then when you have yours, you actually want yes. And then I think that helped her to understand it, because as adults we take responsibility for our actions. We don't keep babying the person. I have that tendency of babying people.
And if you love the person, you have to speak up and say, this thing you're doing
exactly.
Because keeping quiet and saying, okay, let me baby the person is really not. Because I learned this thing the hard way, not really the hard way, but I'm married to someone who believes that if I love you, I should be able to change things, or I should be able to see things that you're not doing properly and not baby you.
True.
And not pet you.
True.
And make sure that you change this thing. I need this thing needs to change because it's not going to help you in the future. So I learned that this person really loves me. I like that point where you say, don't baby people.
Don't baby people, really. Don't baby people. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help your relationship, because ultimately you realize that you're just like a garbage dump. When they bring their trash, they just dump it on you, and then you feel like love is accepting, taking. I was telling you the other day that going to NCCF made me just build on that, turn the other cheek. No, sometimes you don't turn the other cheek, you take whip and flog them out of the temple. No, really. Yes, it's still love. Though I always say there should be that borderline of self-control, so that we don't do it like the world does it, or crazy people.
Cut somebody's ear. Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for Jesus.
Yes, to heal the ear.
Another thing is sensitivity.
Yes.
Because you can't say you want to achieve so thing in the year 2023 and that is not God's plan, or that's not what God wants you to do. So you say you want to buy a house in so location, and God is saying, I actually wants you to move out of Nigeria and quote, let's say example, or I want you to get a house maybe another city, and you're still bank on this is where I want it to be, and that is not God's will. So I think another thing that we need to learn for next year is sensitivity, how to be sensitive enough to our will or our plans aligning with God's will.
Yes. And the amazing thing is you can't even box God. You can't. He's just so amazing. You cannot cry and he say, "Oh, she's crying. Let me." He will do it exactly according to His will,
because He knows. Even though you cry for nothing, it's not still. I think we also need to understand that God is not moved. God doesn't. It's not our tears that makes Him do what He does.
That's so true.
It's good to be emotional.
Yes.
Cry before God. I feel it's a little better to cry before God than be crying before me, because if I cry to you now, you might not really know how you feel.
Yeah,
but God really understands. So I understand the place of yes, you want to cry before God, but at the end of the day, not say you're crying. You're crying.
Let me yes. I used to hear preachers say what you just said growing up, and I felt like it didn't make sense, because I'll cry before my parents and they will change their mind and give me. So why not God? But growing up, I realized only his word moves him. So even if you want to cry, be cry his word.
This is what
your word says.
That you supply. I don't have rights.
I don't have rights, God. He say you be crying with his tears.
Exactly.
He's not a high priest that is not touched. He will just be touched, but with his word now he will act.
Exactly.
So that's just so true.
So final words before we go.
Final words.
Yeah.
Everything you want to do it in the sincerity of your heart. Serve God. I've gotten to that point where I love people, I care about them, but I really don't care what people think. I do things because it pleases God and it makes me happy. And then the people who really matter are happy. Do you get? Every other person can just go and chew on their nails. Like, just be sincere. No, this year, like, I think that's the source of ultimate happiness.
True.
Because we are raised to dress well now. Do you want them to say?
Do you want people to say?
And then growing up, especially when you're in your 20s, you're just, what do they think about me? But you just get to a point where you're like,
I really don't care.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I don't care.
Thank you so much. I think we're going to have 1 or 2 more videos, but I'm going to let you.
Yeah.
When these 3 months
we'll have one on my channel too.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you when I was
we will definitely.
So I'm really grateful for this, and thank you guys. This is 26 minutes. Thank you guys. Please like, comment, share. Tell us what you think about her. I know you had a lot to learn. Tell us which one really resonated within you, and that you'll be taking into 23. So come your way next time. Bye.